Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Vatayana.
I'm Dev.
And today we are here with another episode of Let's Talk. And today our topic is very interesting. We are going to talk upon happiness. So let's get right into the show and let's talk.
Let's talk.
So let's begin with the most basic question. What is happiness?
I think we both know what is happiness, but if we go into the terms of definition, happiness is it's a mental state. Mental state.
Just mental state?
Contentment, emotional quotient. Like for example, you are very happy, so your emotions will be like the happy emotions.
Yes.
And if you are not happy, less happy, so emotions actually decide the degree. So the mental state, your gestures will show that you are happy. You'll be smiling.
Of course, yes.
You'll be smiling and you will look happy.
That thing just comes on her face.
Everybody, like
Yes.
the kids, they are happy, they got their things what they want.
Yeah.
They were asking for something, like you got a new phone and you are happy. So the happiness could not be just by expressed by smiling. It could also be expressed by various other means, like you are happy, you look happy. So people say, oh, we see that you are happy, you're looking happy. That is happiness.
And I would like to add one more thing over here.
Yeah.
Happiness do come from inside. If we are happy, we feel happy from internally, that obviously comes on our faces and we actually
True.
feel that happiness.
True. Happiness comes from inside. Happiness is subjective. Happiness, like there are certain subjects which makes us happy.
Subjective. I heard this thing somewhere. Subjective
Yes,
well-being.
yes, subjective well-being. And there is another thing before I go to that, is the life satisfaction.
Satisfaction, yes.
Life satisfaction is very important. Now, it could be anything you want to do in your life, and like some people say, oh, we are satisfied with our life.
Yeah.
What you wanted to achieve, you have achieved in your life. You get satisfaction,
Yeah.
and the satisfaction gives you happiness.
Yes.
And subjective happiness comes from the subjects. Anything, it could be anything. You want some luxuries, you want something like anything. So it comes from that.
It is different for different people. It depends upon their priorities.
Absolutely. And there is another thing. That is the eudaimonia.
Eudaimonia.
Yes, eudaimonia is a term which is used by the Aristotle long ago, which is related to the personal happiness.
Okay, that's something new, I think, which
Oh yes,
our viewers will also get to know.
of course. And this is something where when you're satisfied, when you're happy, so you look at anything. Like if I give you an example of a very small example, what you want to achieve in your life.
Okay.
Now people will say we want money, somebody will say success,
Yes.
somebody will say we want a good career, somebody will say that I want to travel, somebody will say.
Again, different things
Different
for
things.
different people, yes.
Now what does they achieve from that? You travel, you go to Simla, you go to Kullu, you go to Switzerland. What do you express with that? You went to Switzerland, you are happy.
Yes.
So the happiness is the ultimate goal in life. We want money to be happy. We marry to be happy. We study to achieve something. Learn something, and then when we learn something good, we are happy.
We feel satisfied and that satisfaction gives us happiness.
That satisfaction. So the happiness actually is translated by the different things which we do, and some things makes us happy, some don't.
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask you a question, and before that I'll just say one line, that eudaimonia is actually related to welfare.
Okay.
Because everything in the terms of philosophy, what they have said is like with the welfare of human beings, they are blessed with things. Now, blessing also brings happiness.
I agree, yes.
So
of course.
I would like to put this to you now, that what do you think, what blessings are?
Blessings is not only of one type. I think we are filled with blessings. All right, we are filled with blessings. we can say we have God's blessings, we have nature's blessings. God's blessing, oh, we are blessed with a child, all right, and oh God, we are having some good marks. We feel blessed, and we call that thing as a blessing. That is our God's blessing.
Yes, I think like when you have a good crop and you say this is a blessing of the God,
This
the
is a
nature
blessing.
has blessed us with a good crop.
And yes, coming to that, next type of blessing is of course the nature's blessing. If nature will bless us, that will ultimately lead to our happiness. If we don't face any calamities, or if we don't face any rough phase of nature, then obviously the surroundings will be good, and we'll feel more happier.
I think the blessings are, again, if I add another thing to it, the flourishing. You flourish.
We flourish. Yes.
So the flourishing again gives you happiness. When you flourish in a business, when you're like for example you're doing some farming and your farming is flourishing.
Yes.
You have orchards and your orchards are actually full. The trees are filled with the fruits.
Yes, the
you
growth,
have got a good
the
yield.
prosperity, the
prosperity.
flourishing, yes.
The prosperity is the ultimate thing which you get, and if you are prosperous, you're happy. So if I just add one thing to here is that what we need is a food, shelter and happiness.
The
There are
basic things,
Basic
yes.
things. Roti, kapda or makan.
Yeah.
Now when we talk about the food, when we have good food, we are happy.
We are happy, yeah.
And then we have the shelter. Like we have a shelter which we understand that we are very safe in this shelter. We are happy.
Yes.
Like a warm house in the winters.
Again, that satisfaction of being into our own house or in our place, that
That warmth.
yes, that thing gives happiness.
Yes, that makes us happy.
That makes us happy.
And then there are certain biochemical reactions in the body, some hormones. They are responsible for
Yes.
some emotions. They trigger those emotions, and when the body gives that, it expresses, like they say, like we can see the happiness in your eyes, we can see the happiness on your
On
cheeks, we can see your lips are smiling, and your entire body is looking like you are very happy. You're dancing. So like in the ancient times, when they had food, when they had shelter, they were in the groups and they had fire. They used to start dancing in circles around the fire. So
that showed their
that shows that they're happy, they're content, they're
They're
satisfied.
gestures.
They are satisfied.
You know, we rent our happiness, our emotions to others, and I think this thing gives us more happiness. Like खुशियाँ बांटने से बढ़ती हैं, काफी सुना है हमने.
It gets multiplied.
It gets multiplied. Some things which makes us happy, that could be something for others that could make them happy too. So like we should just be happy and makes other happy.
Of
Right.
course, yes. There are a number of other things which give you happiness. Like, I mean, people may agree or not, but cultural things also give you happiness.
Yes, of course, of course.
This people will agree, but religion also gives you happiness.
Of course, from religion, like we know that some people have habits and routines of going to some temples, gurdwaras, mosque, church, wherever they feel like, all right. And till the time they don't go there and they do their part puja, they don't feel satisfied. And once they have gone there and they have done their daily routine, they completed their daily routine, and that feeling gives them happiness.
The religious ceremonies.
The religious ceremonies,
Cultural
of course.
ceremonies, they give you happiness. Like you're very happy. Like you might have seen this here, the mothers. Like the Christmas is coming. Now Christmas is a religious festival. Now people will be having Christmas trees in the home, and they'll be doing a lot of things
Yes.
related to the celebration. The Santa will come and people are happy, they are celebrating.
They're celebrating, of course. We have just seen that Diwali has gone, and we have seen just a different type of enthusiasm in the people this year, especially because they have been locked up in their homes from last 7 to 8 months, and that came out in the form of Diwali.
Course. And you see, this is like the Diwali. Then you have certain other things which everybody have some. They have something
Yes.
to do with that. They cook something very good, and people are happy. Like, oh, we are going to eat this, we are going to
Of
eat
course.
that. So that also gives you happiness, because every festival, every celebration
Every
is
occasion
connected
brings, yes.
to some foods.
And food gives happiness.
Food
Of
gives
course,
you
food gives us happiness.
Of course, like some people say the chocolate is happiness. So the food is happiness, anything. And going to the cultural factors, culture also gives us happiness. For example, there is a culture of doing things like you have certain cultural aspects, like you celebrate few things in a specific way.
Yes.
That gives you happiness. That is our part of our culture, to do these things or that things, right? Wearing certain types of clothings, doing things. So all these things give you happiness.
The togetherness, the family togetherness or something,
Yes.
we can see in the weddings, the rituals in the weddings, the rituals we do after the wedding, that small little things just gives us happiness.
Absolutely. Wedding, in every culture, there is one thing called wedding. And wedding is a celebration that brings a lot of happiness to a lot of people. Some people are happy because they will be witnessing some occasion over there, dancing, singing, number
Getting
of things,
ready.
getting ready, everything
Looking
will
good,
give them
everything,
happiness.
everything depends upon people to people, and that gives happiness.
Absolutely.
Now, I would like to ask you, what are the different methods of being happy? How can we be happy?
Methods, see, there are a number of methods. I'll begin with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow says, like, there is physiological needs: food, shelter, clothing. You need these things.
Yes, the basic needs.
Basic.
Yes.
Then we go to the psychological needs. Psychology is like, you want the food, it should come permanently. You get satisfaction with that when you get food, regular food, good food. Then you want the good clothes.
Yes, that is very basic things.
Then comes then when you have all these things, it becomes the social needs. When you
Social needs.
social needs to, you have, like, you should have something which is good, like you have a good in a good locality, and you live in a good locality, you eat something like that and all that.
the needs become the social necessities.
Yes, but then it rises to the esteem needs.
Yes.
Esteem needs are the ones which actually talk about, like, my kids are in the school, but that school is a very expensive school. I have a car, but it's a very expensive car, right? I have a house in a very posh locality,
Yeah.
and all these things. Like, we have an air conditioner, which is very expensive one. Now these are the esteem
The
needs.
price tag matters.
Yes, of course. And then comes the last one, is the self-actualization. You want to actualize what you want. Now, when you are getting all these things, you are happy. That's what Maslow says.
Yes.
But then there are a number of other things which actually goes with that. Another thing, which is self-fulfillment.
Yes.
Self-fulfillment is when what you want.
When that gets fulfilled, and
Yes.
that gives you happiness.
Yes. You want this, that gives you happiness when you get it. Then there is another thing, which is the modernization and freedom of choice. It also gives you happiness. Modernization means you have an old house, and when you get a modern house, you get happiness. You have old things, you want to convert to you have an old phone, you want new phone, new style things, and all this. Freedom of choice, what you want to do, gives you happiness.
Yes.
You want to
Let's talk by taking this example. If you are getting a new phone, you want a phone worth rupees 1.5 lakhs, and you get it. That will give you happiness, of course.
Yes, like, for example, you want a gold phone. You want a phone which is gold covered. The freedom of choice.
You have
But freedom of choice also goes, like, for example, you wanted to buy something for same price even. Like, for example, you wanted to buy a specific thing which you want. Price doesn't matter. Again, the freedom of choice matters.
We have some positive limitations of happiness also. We can be happy till some extent, but after that we cannot be happier. Do you agree to this? I think I have seen.
See, there
this
is a
many
positive
times.
psychology which makes you happy.
Yeah.
But too much of positiveness again doesn't makes you happy, because there is a balance of negativity and positivity.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
happiness commands like few things which you need in your life. You will be happy if you were little negative. It is just like you have you make a dish, and then you add a salt into it. You add some spices, you add some pepper, you add some red chilies into it. Now, these things are you can call them the negative aspects. Like, for example, whatever you want to do, you add some negativity to it, and then you are actually balanced. So these things also give you happiness.
Yeah, till some extent. And then we examine our happiness also.
Of
Examine.
course. Nee,
पहले हम
how to
इतने खुश
examine?
थे, अब हम इतने खुश हैं.
Nee, that is measurement and examining,
Ex-
which I would say there is when you examine happiness, you get something out of that examination, that what was responsible for the happiness.
Yeah.
You can repeat those things.
Of course, we do repeat those things.
Yes.
Being with someone gives us happiness, or doing a particular task gives us happiness. Watching a movie gives us happiness. So we repeat those things that ultimately gives us happiness, right?
Then you have measurement. You measure the happiness, that how happy you were with this activity or with this thing.
Yeah.
Like the degree.
The degree of happiness.
The degree of happiness. Relationships are again responsible for happiness. We must also see that what relations give us happiness and what don't. Right?
Which are required and which are not required.
Yes, the relationship characteristics. Again, they are responsible.
Relationship characteristics. How?
See, every relationship has a different character. The love relationships, the conjugal relationships, the kind of a relationship which is in the family, like you have friends, you have
Yes.
relatives and all those people, like the kith and kins. Now there are different types of things involved in that. How you actually you have to see that what gives you happiness and what doesn't.
You have to measure that.
Yes.
You should know that what ultimately gives you happiness.
Absolutely. And the when you talk about the there is an aspect related to these things, and that is when you find something with these relationships, good or bad, that is the one factor which you have to always keep in your mind.
That's the aftermath.
Yes, and also the last which we can talk about is the economic and the political views of a person. They're also responsible for.
Of course. This is something which is not generally taken as an aspect, but these things do matter a lot. We are in an economy, right? And if something doesn't happen very good in the economy, obviously that will affect us only.
Of course, the GDP is rising.
GDP is rising, or the
Makes
GDP
you happy.
is, of course, the rising GDP makes us happy. All right, the low GDP, that will obviously not be very good for the economy, and ultimately we have to suffer the burden of that, right?
See, the salary rises, makes you happy.
Yeah.
And now you see the economy, like you've been talking about economy, the GDP is rising. That means the economy is performing good. And when economy is performing good, there are a lot of jobs, a lot of new things coming up.
Of course.
Now the stock markets are performing, the salary is rising.
That environment is a happy environment,
course.
and ultimately that will affect us, obviously,
Absolutely, it will make you happy.
directly or indirectly, of course.
Like the ladies, if they have a lot of money and like they have a credit card of their husband in their hands, or maybe their own money even, they go to the shopping, and what they find over there is happiness in shopping. So shopping makes you happy, but for shopping you need money.
You need money.
The money is coming from the economy because you are getting salary, the business is performing, you are
course,
flourishing,
of course.
and you are happy.
Of course, and that is again the thing, na, that directly or indirectly, economy do affect your happiness.
Political views also, and there is I think in American Constitution also, it is written by I think Thomas Jefferson somewhere. He has written about the happiness. He has mentioned happiness in that. What is the ultimate objective of everything is happiness. What do you want to achieve is happiness. So people should be happy in the country. A happy people will make a country better country. You will have a fertile mind, you will have everything good. When you have less problems to tackle
Yes.
at home, you can go out and work better, you can perform better.
Of course.
A sportsman who has no troubles, economic troubles, who has got a good sponsor, has got good to eat, good to sleep, everything is doing, he is going to perform. He's
And
got
he's
training
going to perform
facilities.
well, of course.
Yes. So everywhere you go, and why you go and watch a football match?
that gives you happiness.
Gives you
Because you are interested, that gives you satisfaction, and that
Yes.
satisfaction leads to your happiness. of course.
Absolutely. So the happiness is something which can be seen. A mother who's playing with the kid, she's looking at the child, and that
Just by
gives a
looking
smile.
at the child, that gives you happiness.
That
Even
gives
the
you
child is sleeping or doing anything, that gives you happiness.
That gives you happiness. So when we achieve something in the life, when we get something in the life, and if it is satisfying, we are happy.
Of course,
So if you are in a marriage and the marriage is performing well, you are happy.
you are happy.
So everything, you see, go for anything and you'll find the happiness factor over there. So happiness is an
just-
emotional factor
Yeah.
which controls your emotions and your mental state. So happiness, there's last thing which I want to say here is that when you are happy, the time passes very fast.
Very fast. We can feel that.
And when you are not happy, when you're sad, like you always watch time is not passing,
It's not passing.
the time gets slow. So time is a factor which actually gives you the idea that you are happy or not.
Yes.
If you're waiting for somebody eagerly, the time passes very slowly. But when you're going to meet somebody, the time passes very
Of
fast.
course.
So these things actually make a difference. I think that's quite enough to explain happiness, I think, in my opinion. So with this, we would like to say to everyone that be happy and bring happiness in your life and others' life as well.
And try to find happiness in every tiniest thing possible. So, we have come to an end of this show. Do leave your comments in the comment section below and tell us what you think about happiness. We'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.